Welcome back. All right, it is time to reinstall the fuel cell, instrument cluster, electrical wiring harness, and our connections here for the injector pump. So we're going to do that now. We've got our 4 bolts removed out of here, laying up here for us. And we're going to pick this thing up. We're going to carry it over. Hopefully not get hurt, because it's not overly heavy, but it's not, you know, like it doesn't weigh anything either. Ah, boy. Okay. So we want that to be in the up position like so. Forward. Whew. Whew. All right. Here, see what we got. Wiring harness running down through there. That bolt in there. Lift that on the front there. Just a quick walk around here. You have your 4 bolts, 2 on either side, that we mount that up to. You want your wiring coming through here. That's our wiring harness. That will swing around. This pipe will turn, mount up to there. Looks like everything's pretty well cleared down here. Basically all the wiring and stuff just runs straight back through there. When we come around here to the other side, you got to line your fuel line up with the fuel pump, and you also got to line up your, if you have the foot throttle, you got to line this up with the throttle mechanisms. We have our tachometer cable coming out of here. We have our other cables coming up here that'll hook in to the injector pump. And we can put the fuel lines back together. So, all right, well, we will go ahead and hook all this stuff up, and I guess there's a screw with a nut on it. Amazing how difficult these dang things are to put in here, but they do fit. They do fit though. I think it's a 3/8, isn't it? Yeah, that'll work. All right, got that tightened up. And we got our stop cable here. Okay, we have the throttle cable hooked up here. Of course, it's got a spring here to pull it back down. Now we're going to do the stop cable, which is this one here. And what we do here is we have this, right here we have a slot in the mounting piece so that the cable will fit through the slot here, and we can install this thing. So we do that, we slide that down. Bring up the nut. Now when I took this off, I did not do anything with this nut up here. So our distance, our stop on this should be the same, because this distance hasn't been changed. And hopefully we won't have to adjust anything. These are 7/16 fittings on here. We snug that up. We have our cable down here. So we have a pin here. It fits in through the clevis. Through the stop mechanism. We have a spring. And then the spring fits through the hole here. Let's go ahead and, oops. Slip it through there. Push our spring down in here. All right, so as we look at it from down here, we have this spring is going to hook on. I can't get back here, can I? To that tab right there. That's what we're wanting to hook it on to. So we'll pull this down, just like that. And it hooks right on there. And then, push back over here. We operate our stop. This is run. Pulls it up. And then stop. Drops it back down. Voila. Then of course the throttle operates like so. So that's all working as should be. Now I know you're saying, Tech, you hooked this thing up wrong. That's a clevis. It's supposed to go wrap around this part right here. The reason I hook it up to the front side of it is because of the movement of the cable here. As we see, it's got a good movement when it's applied. When you hook it up the proper way, which would be the shaft here coming through our clevis, it pulls this back and binds it all up, as you see in the video. About the drive, we got this little slot right here. That coincides with that mark right here on our cable. So you turn that, now you can turn this. So you want to turn that to where you can line that up in there. Like so. And it pushes together all the way down, and then you just screw that on. It's very good. All right, so we have our system hooked up here. The reservoir, if you will, that we created for the cold start system. We got it hooked up, and our wiring hooked up there. We also hooked up the wiring harness on the left side of the vehicle here. And you have your bolt right here that attaches the pipe. Now this pipe comes over and then it bends back and goes up to the block. And that's our hookup for the headlight system. These are all pretty much self-explanatory. The dyno has two connections on them, and they're different sizes. This is a wide spade, which we have on the top here, and then this is a narrow one here. And really the wires are so old and stiff that they just kind of pretty much fall into place. Got our oil pressure unit down here for the sending unit for that, and then we have the we have to hook up down here is the sending unit for the temperature gauge, and that's the wire for it there, and it gets bolted on. It doesn't have a terminal, a spade terminal, it just has a bolt-on terminal. So we got that all on. So yeah, we got it Brownie going back together. So we'll be ready here to we'll get some fuel in here, and we'll be able to bleed the system the injector system here and get the air out of it, and we'll see how good everything works. Welcome back. Hey, Technical Brad here. So we are going to hook up our electrical system going to the back, and we got a connection down here we hook up right there, and then there's a couple of connections under the seat there, and they're color coded green and blue. And many of you may have noticed that when we put the cover on, I didn't put the pipe on there. That's very easy to forget. I do that virtually every time I put that cover back on, which has only been twice. But you know, you torque it all down. It's got 2 bolts that hold it on there, and I forgot to do that yet again. So, you know, we hook these up. They're pretty straightforward there. And these are a little more difficult. Let's see. Yeah, so the blue one is a single. It plugs in there, and then the green one, yeah, there's 2 of those. And they hook into here. Via the connector. Like so. And all lights work. Plow light works. So we're good there.